So I wanted to put out a video because it's been a couple weeks. Little update on how I've been doing, where I've come from my last video. It's been a progression, positive progression. The pendulum doesn't swing as hard as it was. I'm seeing a new counselor. I see her once a week, and she's really provided me with tools that I need in order to manage my anxiety and what was becoming essentially becoming a hypochondriac. So, as the anxiety is alleviated, all of the symptoms that I would suffer from have alleviated, and I feel good. I'm feeling more like me every day, at least the better version of me, which really is how these types of difficult situations should be handled. You should come out stronger and learn from what you experienced, essentially become better. Um, there's always the opposite side of it, and it could have defeated me, and it could have really owned who I was and continue to own who I was and really disrupt my lifestyle. And I've been fortunate enough to um, overcome a lot of those anxieties and fears. I still have them; they're still there, and they kind of sprout up. And it's weird because I'll get like the smallest mark on my arm, and I'm like, well, what is that? And I start worrying about it, but I don't search those things anymore. And these are things that I've always had, but just never noticed in the past. I just never took time to kind of give them energy. But now I give the smaller things energy, which can lead to anxiety. So I really work hard to stay away from allowing that to happen. Um, I can't tell you many times people just say, we just need to stop feeling like that. And it's not how it works. It's a process, and it takes time. Um, it owns so much of my life. I committed all my energy to getting emotionally better. Um, but those things that anxiety make you feel are real. They're actual physical symptoms. It's not in your head. My body underwent some changes as a result, maybe it's that, maybe it's just midlife stuff changing because I'm getting older, um, you know. But the fact is, I just need to not be thinking about it, worrying about it, and just enjoy more of the present and what I'm doing. Um, One of the tools that my counselor provided me was kind of the elements: earth, uh, water, wind, and fire. And it starts off with air, where you take a deep breath, and then it's kind of like box breathing: in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and out for 4 seconds. You do that once or twice, or as many times you need. And then you create some saliva in your mouth, and that's water. And as anxiety kind of kicks in, the fight or flight kicks in and starts shutting down your digestive system. So creating saliva in your mouth or drinking taking a sip of water kickstarts your digestive system and redirects the anxiety. Um, Doing this with your eyes closed, it's kind of better. And you feel where you're sitting or where you're standing, what your feet are pressed against, and really feel it and kind of think about what it feels like. Does it feel springy in the chair? Do my feet feel the gravel underneath them? Does the ground feel hard? Those types of things. And then it is when you open your eyes, you find something bright or a couple things that are really bright in color, and that's the fire. The fire colors, so bright oranges, bright reds. If your favorite color is blue or green, you can find those colors, but just um, bright shades of those colors, and kind of focus on that, and then describe to yourself what it is that you're looking at. So, when I think of fire, it's kind of easy for me because red's my favorite color, but I'll do that, and it helps. It helps a lot. It's a lot better and easier to remember the elements than it was to remember. Um, think about 4 things you hear or 5 things you hear and 4 things you see. There was just another technique out there that was just too much for me to remember. I can remember the elements. It's easy. Something else she helped me with was creating a vault in my mind, and that was kind of interesting because maybe she recognized I'm such a talker, I'm such a thinker, and she instead wanted me to imagine a vault in my mind's eye, and I did that. And it could be as she says, think about any kind of vault, as big as it can be. So you envision this vault, and then you put things in it. So to make it easier on myself, I envisioned like a drop box. So the vault's got this huge door, but I have a drop box beside it, and I just slide things in there. So when there are thoughts that I don't want to be thinking about, or it's the inappropriate time to be thinking about them, like right before bed, I'll slide them into the vault. And she says anything that goes into the vault can't come out until it's time, until one of our sessions. And I really dig that. Most of the time, I don't remember what I'm sliding in there, but the conscious thought, and whenever it crawls its way out of that vault, I'll just slide it right back in. And that's helped quite a bit as well. I'm seeing my counselor now once a week. It's much better than when I was seeing my last counselor. I was going maybe twice a month, and he wasn't. He was helpful in some ways. He got me through some of the harder times, but he didn't have the tools. So you really need to shop around for someone that's going to help you and understand what it is you're going through. Mine specializes with first responders and military, and so she understands like PTSD. One of the biggest, I'm going to say, not necessarily breakthroughs, because I understood control, and control of my situation was a big part of my anxiety. And really, you can't, the reality of it all is you don't really control anything. You only can control the way you perceive things, right? But in my discussions with her, she helped me to understand even moments from my youth where I didn't feel like I had control, and that I'd actually suffered from anxiety at earlier stages in my life, which I never really felt like I did until talking to her, and I was like, yeah, no, it makes sense, especially when I was so engrossed in my current situation where all I had was the fear. All I had was that panic and pain and frustration. So it's really been helpful to talk to her, and she's really helped me with some techniques. I'm always looking forward to that next conversation. Triggers, I still have them. Obviously, any physical things I come up with are obvious triggers that'll kind of get me going. But there's also other triggers out there, like people. Like I'll see people that I've talked to, especially people that I talked to at the beginning stages of when I started dealing with this anxiety and panic, and those beginning stages. Just seeing those people brought me back to those moments, and that was. I didn't really care for that, so I made sure to create newer or better memories. I'm also not the same person that I was before I came into this, and that's a good thing. That's totally okay. I appreciate much more of my environment, where I'm at, who I'm with. Some of the things that I started using as crutches were online video games, um, games on the phone. I mean, just really just junk stuff. But anyway, that's it. Just want to give a little update. And you're not alone out there, those of you dealing with this, and trying to have a good night and seek that help.